Stand by for broadcast.
You're listening to Inside Air, a behind-the-wire view of the Royal Air Force, its people, technology and operations.
Hello, I'm Squadron Leader Peter Lisney, and in this episode, we're off to Mallory Park Racing Circuit with RAF Motorsports. We'll also reheat a few stories, just in case you missed them, but first, see if you can identify this noise. Find out if you're right at the end of this episode. Now, sport plays a crucial role in developing RAF personnel, and there are few sports faster, noisier or more thrilling than motorsports. Flight Lieutenant Amy Casey picks up the story.
The RAF Motorsports Association is one of the largest RAF sporting associations and has been active since 1961, encouraging everybody to get involved with motorsport events at local, inter-service, national and even international level. They recently held an open day at the famous Mallory Park, which saw over 70 personnel come along to experience the 4- and 2-wheel opportunities, the simulators, and even have a race around the track with the driving team. AS1 Anna Harris went along to find out more.
I've just come in over a little footbridge into the main bit of the circuit, and I can see the cars going around. So I'm really excited to go and visit. To meet some of the guys from the association and see what they get up to. Hopefully later on I'll have a drive in a car as well, so I'll keep you posted. So one of the drivers here today is Dave Russell. So tell me, where is it you're normally based?
So I'm from RAF Cosford. I work within one of the training schools that delivers the avionics, armourers and survival equipment technician training.
Fabulous. And then today you're here driving one of the cars. Can you tell me which car it is you drive and what sort of speed it is and can get to?
I'm here in sort of two hats. I help run the motor racing team with a guy called Chris Slater, and we've put this event together as part of the motor racing team, and then the other disciplines of the Motorsport Association have come as well, so to give everybody a perspective of what Motorsport Association is. And my car here today is an BMW E36. It's affectionately known as Eddie, after the previous owner of the car, Eddie McKean, and I compete in the military championship in that car. We can take some passengers around and give them the experience of what it's like to be on track.
So have you had a few visitors come down today? Yeah,
so we originally were hoping for 40, which we thought was slightly optimistic because we appreciate people are just so busy in their primary roles, but we've actually had something like 85 returns. We're looking at approximately 70 odd people here today, from all different ranks, jobs, trades, professions, to experience what the RAF Motorsport Association is and what you can do within the association. Whether it's cars, bikes, sidecar, now karting, trials, motocross, e-motorsports, anything that you're interested in that's loosely, even remotely linked to motorsport, anybody can get involved. And that's the beauty of the Motorsport Association, is it covers absolutely every pillar of motorsport.
So is there a grassroots level as well?
Yeah, definitely. So there's a few avenues. So say historically, karting was seen as the entry into motorsport, and it definitely is. The military karting championship is really impressive, and that is a real valuable and valid way of getting into motor racing at, say, car level or going off to bikes. But another one we've got is e-motorsport, and we've got a driver for the first time on our grid who has only ever done e-motorsport, who's only ever done sim racing, and he's proven to be really talented. Our team have got 3 identical BMW 116s, and the idea of those cars is exactly that, grassroots engagement. So today, for instance, we've got 8 members of the team that have never driven on track before, that are going round in the 116s with an instructor sat next to them, to have that first, literally hands-on experience of what it's like to drive a race car on a racetrack. And then 2 of those people have done their race licence test today, because of how well they've done, and we're planning for them to race with us at an endurance race over Remembrance Sunday. So that shows that you can be part of the team. If your end goal is to drive and race, the team has the assets and the drive, the personnel and the capability to help people unlock that.
That's definitely something I've learned today, because I thought that only like a couple of people could do the driving and everybody else had to do all the other bits around. So it's really refreshing to hear that actually, if you want to be going and driving, you can really get involved.
100%, and there's different ways to do it. You know, we've had 3 people now each year after year use a 116 in our military championship, and then they've gone on to either build or buy their own race car. And I'm sure Kingy, who's racing it this year, will do the same, and then next year we'll have technically 3 cars available for people that, if they want to hire them at a ludicrously cheap price, to use these cars in the championship and get into motor racing. You know, because everybody doesn't have the piles of cash to go and buy the race car straight away, so that gives people that grassroots entrance level into motor racing.
So, to coming along to something like this and being a member of the team, how does that benefit, you know, your normal job in the RAF?
So there's so many transferable skills, and the obvious ones, you know, people in technical backgrounds, you know, using that technical and trade skills to maintain vehicles, maintain team equipment is the obvious tangent. But it doesn't necessarily have to be just your trade skill. You know, it's the organisation side of it, it's the planning side of it. If somebody, you know, needs or wants a bit more managerial roles or leadership experience, we can give those to people. Tasking people to go off and take a small contingent of team personnel to go and do an engagement event. We've done engagement events at local fairs, freedom parades, all the way up to the British Grand Prix for the Formula One. Our reach is endless, but we couldn't do it all without team people. Utilising those skills we all have in the military to make it a success.
Corporal Alex Smith is part of the racing team.
I've been racing now for about a year and a half. This is my 2nd year. As part of the association, I'm also the General Secretary, so not the most exciting, glamorous job. I arrange meetings, things like that, but the fun part is I get to come racing as well. We were racing Donington Park 2 weeks ago, which was fantastic with the Armed Forces Race Challenge, and we're here today at Mallory Park introducing the sport to anyone who's interested in getting involved.
So you say you've been in a couple of years. Were you a keen driver before then?
So when I joined up, I started with karting with Cosford, and I did that for a couple of years, and eventually I moved across to motor racing. I've always wanted to do it since I was a kid, and the opportunity came up, and I thought, you know what, let's do it when I've got the time. And luckily where I work at RF Benson, they're very accommodating. It's fantastic, and no regrets so far.
So was it something you found out about after joining the RAF or before, and was it a part of why you joined the RAF?
So I found out about the motor racing after I joined up. I was aware there was karting going through the recruitment process, because it was mentioned through my AFCO. It's about a year into being in the RAF, I found out about the motor racing, and I started going along as support. I did that for about 4 years, and obviously here we are now. I've got my own car and I'm out on track myself.
Fantastic. So what car is it you're driving today?
A 1996 Honda Integra. It's had a fair amount of work done to it. It doesn't have the original engine anymore, but it's a fantastic car. You see fewer and fewer of them nowadays, but I love it. I go away a lot. What people say about rotary isn't all true. You don't stay in tents all the time. I've been fortunate to go to California twice. I was at Kenya at the start of the year, and I should be going out to Brunei over winter.
So you're not really escaping from your job by being here then, in a way?
They're very similar cars to old helicopters. It's all very mechanical.
Yeah, not like the newer type of platforms that you might come across. It's more electrical, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the F-35 is just a flying computer, which is worlds apart from what I'm driving around the track today.
Oh, well, have a great time. And what sort of tips would you give anybody? Maybe thinking about a track day, like I've got a Mitsubishi Evo at home, I want to take on a track day that I haven't done before, and I'm not used to a powerful car or a fast car that makes a lot of noise. So what tips would you give me?
Firstly, I'd probably go with someone who knows how to drive on track, get a bit of instruction. It's amazing what a bit of a few pointers can help with, and drive at your own pace. Don't feel because other people are passing you, you have to keep up with them.
So how have the passengers today been? Have they enjoyed it? Have they done that before?
A couple of them have. One of the guys I work with has come along today, and he was just beside himself. He absolutely loved it. He was shouting and screaming all the way around, which was quite funny actually. Be sure to tell everyone at work about that.
Well, he'll see you in a different light, won't he, as well?
Yeah, he thinks I'm really, really cool now, which is great. So there you go.
It was also a great opportunity for people to test their driving skills, as AS1 Tech Emma Ockenden found out.
So I do a lot of just supporting the team. I personally don't drive because I don't have my own car, but yeah, I've been able to get in the club's 416s and go out for a drive. Yeah, pretty incredible.
So it was really good fun, was it?
Yeah, I really didn't think I was going to be quite so good, and the instructor was really happy. He was really good at teaching me through it, just talking me what to do. By the end of it, he was like, yeah, just you can do it, just get on with it. Yeah.
That's brilliant. What sort of tips did he give you?
It's just about being smooth. Don't obviously brag around the car, like pay attention to what's going on, spatial aware, being spatial aware of what you're doing.
And each lap, did that sort of make more sense as you went around?
Yeah, 100%. And you have to get the practice, keep going round, and eventually you'll remember your braking points, your turning points, and then by the end of it, I wasn't even thinking about it, you just do it.
How did you get involved with the motorsport here?
So my partner started getting involved with the club a couple of years ago. He then bought his own car, so I thought I'd come along and assist. Over the time, I've sort of helped out with different people throughout the club, and I've now become quite a vital team member. I do a lot of the organising, making sure all the kit's where it should be and when, and making sure it's serviceable, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, just...
I mean, that's a really important job, isn't it, that people don't always appreciate?
Exactly. A lot of people just think, oh, it's just getting a car and drive, but it's making sure everything's ready to go, get the car on a trailer, get into the track, setting everything up, and obviously maintaining the car whilst it's here. But yeah, you just see it as just driving a car. But...
And do you enjoy being involved then?
I really do, yeah, and it's such a good team atmosphere. I endeavour to get out and come and see the team because it's just so enjoyable.
And so in the RAF, what's your normal job then?
So I'm an aircraft technician, avionics on the Pumas, and there's quite a lot of it's good transferable skills and stuff I've learnt to fix on these I've kind of learnt from work.
So it's really useful actually, it sort of helps you in both aspects of your life. Yeah, definitely. So you're going to start doing more driving, do you think?
Yeah, a lot of the team are trying to push me because they realise I've got the talent for it. I really do want to get involved in it.
The top brass also popped in to say hello and check on proceedings.
Hi there, I'm Group Captain Brian Watson and I'm the chair of RAF Motorsports.
So how's today gone?
It's been excellent. Our key aim today was to get as many of the different teams, we're on 7 different teams across 2 and 4 wheels and synthetics, out and demonstrating what they do for some newcomers. We've got a good bunch of newcomers who've arrived and are able to experience RAF Motorsport and how we do it and how we deliver it.
So have you been in motorsport a long time then?
Yes, quite a long time, about 25 years I've been doing it. So my job, I see it as chair of the association, is to get youngsters into it, to get newcomers into it, to understand and experience it and at least have a go and see whether they enjoy it or not.
And do you look for a certain amount of members each year or anything like that?
We try and get as many as we can. By introducing synthetic racing, online racing, we've brought in a different dimension, so a lot of youngsters do that and don't realise perhaps they can transition from the synthetic environment to the real environment. So our job is to show them they can do all different roles in motorsport because it's a team game. There's a person driving, karting or racing, but there's marshals, there's officials, all that make the sport function and work, and they can do any of those roles.
Well, we've met quite a few today already, just the different kinds of roles that are involved. It's not just someone driving or riding a bike. You know, there's loads going on, isn't there?
Yes, and that's the bit that we want to try and get across to the youngsters, is that motorsport has a cost. There's a cost of getting involved in it, but there are roles you can do where you can be part of the team and actually do something that's pretty key to making sure that motorsport functions, because it's pretty much up to F1 level, run by volunteers across key posts. So they could be doing something here, learning how to do it, and actually going to an F1 event and taking part and supporting it.
Is it just open to regular RAF personnel?
No, in actual fact, last year we had our first high performing athlete who happened to be an RAF reservist corporal, a chap called Phil Hall, who was competing in the World Rally Championship as a co-driver. So it's very much about getting anybody out doing sport across the whole force from a service perspective. And we've got a couple of guys on the motorcycle race team who are actually reservists as well. So we absolutely encourage reservists to come out. It can be done as part of their commitment, and very much the RAF Sport and Director of RAF Sport have encouraged us massively and allowed us to take somebody from reserve capacity up to competing at World Rally level.
Richard Fogden and Amy Elliott from RAF Sport were also in attendance.
How's your day gone so far?
Really good. Actually, just as we've seen over the last few months, people coming back out, getting involved in sport post-COVID, brilliant, but really exceptional to see such a spread of the disciplines from road, cars and bikes and whatever, and the sidecar team as well. Embracing as well the opportunity to showcase some of the simulators that are bringing a different aspect to motorsport as we go forward. So yeah, really good. Great track, great day, great people.
Oh, that's brilliant to hear. And Amy, have you been in one of the cars yet?
Yeah, so I got taken out and driven around in the rally car, which was really good, and something again that I probably wouldn't do on a weekend. So yeah, it's been a great day.
And how do you feel that this aspect of the RAF Sport offers people in the forces something different to do?
So I think there's a couple of aspects of that. It's about offering people something different to do, and that's the nice to do bit of sport. The really important bit of sport is why do we do it at all, and that's to develop our people. It makes them better service people, it makes them better individuals in life. So we're making them ready for operations, making them ready for life through putting through a place of uncertainty and challenge in sport. The great thing about this today is it's a day of get to know you. It's a novice day, so come and have a look, come and see what you might fancy in sport, and then see where you can take it from there. And we're really big on you can achieve at each and every level. So you come and have a go, you've succeeded, you're better than you were through sport. Right up to winning a service championship or a national championship, you're better all the way across. So there's something for everybody in sport, in all the 88 disciplines we do at each and every level, and that's exemplified by the people who have come here today.
Everyone I've spoken to, they're obviously so pleased now to be back to sport, back out there, back together as an association post-COVID, back to the fixture levels and back up and running again, basically.
Well, it's great to meet you both. Yeah. And I hope you've had a really good day, and I'll see you at another event, I'm sure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Excellent indeed.
And it's not just about fast cars, there was strong representation from two wheels as well.
Flying off to James Field, I've been in the RAF just over 12 years now, racing for about 20 years, so I was racing before joining the RAF.
So where are you normally based then?
So at the moment I'm at Wittering, waiting for further training, so I'm one of the holding officers there. I've just finished my foreign training.
So you said you've been in the force for some time, so when was it that you found out you could do the motorcycling part of that?
It came up in the initial interviews when I was an airman, but then it just kind of disappeared, and then I knew some of the guys that were racing. I was like, oh yeah, we can do it from the RAF, and this is about 2014, 2015, so come and give it a go, and yeah, you get loads of support, and yeah, absolutely brilliant. So I've been doing it, well, since then, but I had about 4 years off in between, and then come back to it, and yeah, it's just the same, get the same kind of great support, and yeah, brilliant.
So what's been your favourite experience being with the motorsport team here?
Well, I'm a road racer, so it's doing the road stuff. There's not many of us that do it, so it's quite a good close-knit group, and yeah, it's just spending time with your friends and racing bikes, and yeah, it can't get much better than that.
And they're not necessarily the people you work with, are they? So they could be just people in the association from different parts of the RAF?
Oh yeah, they're from all over the place, all over the country, and all different ranks as well. It's open to everyone, and absolutely brilliant for that kind of thing. Very inclusive, that's for that one.
So is there a favourite racetrack that you've got that you've been on before?
Good question. Short circuit, probably Alton Park, and road racing, either the Southern 100 or the TT Mountain Course. That was quite an experience.
So what kind of bike is it that you ride? I'm sure some people will be really interested in hearing this.
It's a ZX-10R, so it's a Kawasaki 1000cc bike, and I've only just got it recently actually. I was on 600s before. I took some years off after the Manx GP in 2018 to focus on commissioning and stuff like that, and then came back and said, well, get a 1000, a proper bike. So yeah, it's hard work, a completely different way of riding a bike, but yeah, it's about 215 brake horsepower for the engine geeks, and yeah, they'll do about 200 miles an hour.
Oh, lovely to meet you. Thank you very much.
No, thank you very much. Cheers.
And finally, it was time for our Anna to brave the race car and go for a lap on the circuit at the famous Mallory Park. Now, we would love to bring you the audio from inside the car, but there was too much screaming and, quite frankly, too much swearing.
Oh, I've never gripped so hard in my life. But I want to say thank you to Frodo, isn't it,
Yes.
for taking me out. So can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name's Simon Froden. Frodo, been in the Air Force in 20 years and racing for about 15 of those.
That's fantastic. And what kind of car were we in today?
A Ford Fiesta that I built as a, well, sort of stopgap car a few years ago, but it's still going, old reliable for now. Anyway, better not jinx it.
Yeah, that's true. And what do you think of the circuit here at Mallory Park?
I'm quite lucky. I've had quite a few years' experience at Mallory Park, so it's got a short one, as you saw, but a fun little track, especially when there's other cars around, which I think is maybe the bit you enjoyed most. I don't know.
Yeah. Some of the cars felt a bit close, and then what really got me was the fact that you can keep accelerating so quickly through a corner. How does that work?
So we do quite a lot of work individually on our cars, on our suspension setup, to make sure it's kind of optimised for that sort of driving, and also it's practice and seat time as well, so a bit of experience. But as you saw, it handles a little bit differently to most road cars, and very grippy tyres as well, which helps.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd trust my car with that kind of speed around the corner. I think I'd end up in the hedge. But yeah, thank you very much indeed. And what can you say to anybody who might be trying this for the first time, like going out on a track day?
Well, certainly if you're Air Force, please have a look at for RAF Motorsports. We'd be delighted to hear from you and bring you to a day like this in the future, and then get you out to one of our cars or one of the Air Force cars, and then if you like it, there's the start of, for me, a 15-year Air Force motorsport journey. So.
That's fantastic. Thanks a lot for your time.
You're very welcome.
And thanks for taking me around the track and not... hopefully I didn't scream too loud. I'm going to go and have a lie down now.
A huge thank you to AS1 Anna Harris, coming soon to a racetrack near you, and to all of the team at the RAF Motorsports Association. And if you're interested in motor racing, karting, rallying, motorcycle trials, motorcycle road racing, or motocross and enduro, basically anything that goes fast with 2 or 4 wheels, get in touch with the Royal Air Force Motorsports Association. We'll see you on the racetrack soon.
I'm AS2 Ben Russell with Reheat for Inside Air. An RAF Atlas C1 has been refuelled over the South Atlantic for the first time, increasing the capability of the Bryce Norton-based Air Mobility Force. The Atlas had departed Ascension Island for the Falklands and was more than 900 nautical miles from land when it received 20 tonnes of fuel from an RAF Voyager, which had taken off from Mount Pleasant. In another first, the RAF's Poseidon Maritime Patrol aircraft has launched on search and rescue duties for the first time, coming to the aid of 2 transatlantic rowers who were adrift in a life raft after their vessel sank. The aircraft from 201 Squadron, based at RAF Lossiemouth, was able to coordinate the rescue with a merchant ship that was in the area and brought the rowers on board. 2 Chinooks from RAF Odium have returned home after supporting the UK-led NATO enhanced forward presence in the Baltic region. Based out of Amari Air Base in Estonia since the 8th of July, it was a busy deployment for the detachment, which saw the Chinooks transport more than 1,600 passengers and move 13.5 tonnes of freight over 174 flying hours. And in sport, the RAF's divers got the 4-day Inter-Services Swimming Championships off to a flying start by retaining their title. AS1T Jacob Story was the top man at Aldershot, securing the highest combined score. The women also did the service proud by bagging second place, with flying officer Hannah Profit gaining podium places on both spring and platform. And that's Reheat for Inside Air.
I'm AS1 Simon Ross with this episode's Name That Noise. That was the sound of the side door being operated on a Puma HC Mark II. The Puma saw its first major operational service back in 1980, monitoring ceasefire arrangements in Rhodesia. It also served extensively in Northern Ireland and in Belize, where it provided mobility for the British Army and support for RAF Harriers. Throughout all of its years of service, the Puma design had changed remarkably little, but when the UK committed forces to Op Herrick in Afghanistan, its limitations became apparent. The helicopter lacked power in the hot and high conditions typical of the Afghan summer, leaving it short of lift. It was therefore decided that a dramatic upgrade would be applied, providing advanced digital avionics, more fuel capacity, and a turbo shaft of the Super Puma. The Puma returned to RAF Benson in 2013 as the Mark II variant, and it remains a key support helicopter to this day.
That's all for this episode of Inside Air. Please give us a review and subscribe on your favourite podcast app, and join us again soon.
You've been listening to Inside Air, a behind-the-wire view of the Royal Air Force, its people, technology and operations. If you're serving in the RAF and have a story for us, please speak to your unit media and communications officer. Inside Air is written and produced for the Royal Air Force by RAF Media Reserves.